Hi scientists, it's Mr. Bellinger speaking. So today we're going to be working on how to make an atom graphic organizer, and that's going to be your pages 21 on your science notebooks. You should have a worksheet for it, 21 IP and OP. So that's, as we know, is a one way to demonstrate how a atom looks like. It's not necessarily how an atom looks like, but we do have the protons and neutrons in the middle, and we have the electron cloud surrounding the nucleus. Um, the directions to draw a Bohr model are in your worksheet. You're welcome to practice on a scratch piece of paper. You're welcome to practice on your notes behind where you tape your worksheets for those pages. But let's go ahead and get started. One thing that I want you guys to understand is if you look at your periodic table, there are numbers for the rows. Okay, so they go 1 through 7. Um, the number for the rows will be the number of uh, electron shells that the atom would have. For example, a hydrogen would have one electron shell. Lithium would have two electron shells. Sodium would have three electron shells, and go on. Cesium would have six, for example. Okay, so that's important to know. The number of rows, the row that that element is in, is how many electron shells you're going to need to draw if you're trying to draw a Bohr model of that atom. Um, Now, as we know, the first row is the first electron shell. The first electron shell can hold two electrons, the second one, 8, the third one, 8, the fourth one, 18, the fifth one, 18, the sixth one is 32, and the last one, the seventh one, is also 32. Now, I don't, I don't know if you remember, but you should know this by now, knowing that the atomic number, the number on top of the element, the symbol or the name, is going to be the number of protons, and the number of electrons always going to match the number of protons in a neutral element. So any element on the periodic table should be neutral. The number of neutrons, you're going to get the atomic mass. So in this case, we're going to round it up to 23, and we're going to subtract from the atomic number. So 23 minus 11. We're going to have 12 neutrons for sodium, okay? Na sodium. So let's pick an element. Let's go ahead and do carbon, okay? Carbon is 6. 6 protons. So the atomic number 6. It's going to have 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. So to draw a model, the easiest way to do it, I've noticed a lot of us today were drawing plus signs for protons and zeros for neutrons. So we're going to do a little bit different today. You can go ahead and draw the nucleus first. So we're doing carbon over here. Go ahead and draw the nucleus first, and just put P equals, that's protons equals, and you can go ahead and put the number of protons in the middle as well as the number of neutrons. So that way it's a little easier to draw when we're drawing Bohr models, Bohr diagram models. And then on the first shell, we're going to go ahead and add the 2 electrons on the first shell, and that's the max we can add. Now, we have 6 protons, so we're going to have 6 electrons. Okay, carbon has 6 electrons. If we already drew 2, we know that we're going to go to the next shell, and there's how many left? 4. So we're going to go ahead and use the second shell to draw the next 4 electrons. It helps if you go around and you do 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way it's balanced out. It's easier to go around. Now we have a total of 6 electrons, 6 protons, and 6 neutrons. Okay. However, keep in mind that you could add up to 8 on the second shell. Okay, we don't need to do more than this because we only have 6 electrons. But the second shell could fit 4 more if you needed. So let's do another example here. Let's go ahead and practice with the element calcium. So calcium is over here. The symbol name is Ca. The atomic number is 20. The atomic mass is 40. Let's round it up to 40, okay, since it's only 0.08. So what's the number of protons? 20, correct. What's the number of electrons? Always matches the number of protons, so it's also going to be 20. The number of neutrons, it's going to be the atomic mass, which is 40, minus the atomic number, which is 20. So we're also going to have 20. So we have 20 protons, 20 electrons, and 20 neutrons for calcium. So calcium is located on the 4th row. Okay, so calcium's right over here on the 4th row. So therefore, calcium is going to have 4 electron shells. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use the graphic organizer, and we're going to write down that it has 20 electrons total. Okay, the first shell fits 8, second shell fits 8, third shell fits 8, and the fourth shell fits 18. However, we're not going to use all the 18 on the fourth shell. I'll give you the heads up right now. We're going to go ahead and put 2 on the first one. We don't have enough for 20. So we go to the second shell. We put 8. We don't have enough for 20. We only have 10 so far. So we add another 8 on the third shell, which is the maximum. We have 18. 10, 18. So there's only 2 left to make 20. And those last 2 electrons are going to go on the last shell that can fit up to 18. Okay, so we divided all the 20 electrons into each shell of the atom, of the element calcium. The maximum for the first one, 2. The maximum for the second one, 8. The maximum for the third one, 8. And the maximum for the fourth one, or not the maximum, the 2 that were left for the last one, 2, and made 20. So let's go ahead and draw the element calcium, okay? We draw the nucleus first, and we don't want to do 20 plus signs and 20 neutron signs because that was taking a lot of space. So let's go ahead and just draw a circle, and then do P equals the number of protons, N equals the number of neutrons, which in this case is 20 for both. Then you go ahead and draw the 4 shells that we need, and then you start counting. 1, 2, first shell is full. And then you go around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have a total of 10, and we have 8 on the second shell. It might help you to always write them down in pairs, so that way it's easier to visualize how many you have. So you can count 4 pairs here equals 8. And then we'll go to the third shell and start counting again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so they go by pairs. That way it's easy to count. We have 8, 8, 2. 2 plus 8 equals 10. 10 plus 8 equals 18. And we have 2 left, and we start counting again. 1, 2, and we stop here because we now have 20.